Today we're in my dad and Wendy's kitchen and we are cooking lasagna. So Wendy, what is the first step?
The first step is we're going to cook the ground beef.
Okay.
So we have 1 pound of ground beef, and I guess while we're doing that we can, are you helping me?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm helping.
We could put some oil in that pan, and it's just like a couple tablespoons of oil, so I don't usually measure it, but.
Alrighty. Right about there?
That's probably good.
Okay. And what's
And
next?
we'll just heat that up a little bit and get it ready for the onions that I have, onions and garlic.
So we got them already chopped up here. And as soon as that heats up, we'll throw those in. Alright, we'll get that going. So we have the hamburger cooking. We're about to drain it. We have the onions simmering in the oil. And what's the story behind this recipe?
Well, this recipe came from my father's mother, who has recently passed away, but it's just been a real popular lasagna recipe that everybody seems to like, and nobody really wants to order lasagna at the restaurant anymore, so I just keep making it. And
sounds good.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Alright, so the onions and the garlic are done. We're just getting ready to put it into the hamburger and mix that all in. Okay, so you mix it all in with the hamburger and onions.
And then this needs to simmer for 30 minutes.
Alright, so we're going to mix that in and let it simmer. And so we're about halfway done with simmering the beef and the sauce. So we're starting our noodles right now. And how did you do those?
Well, I recommend adding a little bit of, I use olive oil, you could use vegetable oil, just a little bit to the water. It helps keep the noodles from sticking. And also when you put the noodles in the water, to kind of one by one crisscross them so they don't tend to stick together as easily if you do that.
Okay.
So we're going to boil those for about 10 minutes and then they'll be done.
All right.
Just about in time for the sauce to be done.
Sounds good. Alright, so we're pretty much done. We have the noodles here. We strained them. We did not rinse them. We have the meat sauce, and we're about ready to put it all together. So what do we have to do first?
So we're going to start with the meat sauce, and this is kind of a layering process. The more layers the better. But anyways, so I'm going to start by taking, I don't know, I'd have to say about 3/4 of a cup of the meat sauce and just putting it in the bottom of the pan, and it actually spreading it out quite thin.
So I just finished cutting all the noodles to the size of the pan, and Wendy's been working on the layers. So how are we layering this?
Well, we're starting first with the meat sauce, and then we are putting the cottage cheese on top of the meat sauce. And the cottage cheese, we are using 1 whole container for an approximate 8x8 or 9x9 size pan. Easily doubled to a 9x13. You just obviously use twice as much.
Alright.
It's best, I think, to slice your mozzarella cheese instead of grate your mozzarella cheese. For some reason, it just seems to be better that way. So I've sliced it and just kind of made little layers of that, as opposed to shredding it.
Alright.
And from there,
so now we just need a few more.
Yeah, just a few more layers. We're putting a sprinkle of the Parmesan cheese on top of that. And again, I think that you could probably use fresh Parmesan cheese if you choose, but this is just kind of what the recipe calls for. And then a little bit of garlic salt sprinkled on each layer.
All right, and we're almost done with that. So we're about finished with the lasagna. And what do you have going on now?
Well, we started with the meat and we're ending with the meat. So there's like one more layer of meat than everything else. So you just want to make sure and have a nice layer of meat over your, your last step. And top that off again with mozzarella strips, the Parmesan cheese, and a little shake of your garlic salt on top of that, and it's good to go in the oven.
All right, and so we have the oven preheated at 350, and how long will that bake for?
That will bake for 45 minutes.
All right. Okay, so our lasagna is just about finished. Just open up the oven, and how do you tell when it's done?
Well, just kind of a golden brown on the top, and we want to wait about, I don't know, 10 minutes before we actually cut it and start serving it.
And so while that is cooling off, we have garlic bread right over here that we made. Just really simple, thick slices of bread, a butter garlic mixture on top, and that will go in the oven.
I'm gonna put the broiler on right now, so that'll be a couple minutes, and we'll put that in.
And then dinner will be ready.